Did you miss me? If you clicked on this video, that means that you hate yourself. I get it. I used to do that. I used to self-deprecate, if you will. By the end of this video, I hope to either have you completely convinced to not hate yourself or hate yourself a little less. Brownie points if you actually tried to delete yourself off of this planet.
No, check the lights off. No.
I actually tried to do that. Thankfully didn't work. The bad news is that you're completely at rock bottom. Okay, but come here. The good news is that you're at rock bottom. You can't go anywhere else but up from here. So I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you out. First and foremost, I just want to be so real with you. Okay, look at me right now. Look at me. I was never like this. Okay, in fact, I'm not always like this. I think 90% of the time I am like this, and the other 10 I'm much more like introverted.
Very demure, very mindful.
I used to be socially anxious, insecure, sluggish. I was also really obese and just spiritually ugly. Physically, mentally, spiritually, everything was not okay. So I have credibility, if you will, and I think I'm eligible to talk about this. So let's get started. So the first point that I want to make, this is probably going to ruffle some feathers in the self-care, self-love community, okay? But the whole love yourself where you're at, I don't believe in that. I'm sorry, I don't. That makes no sense to me. No, what was there to love about the old Bridget? Really look deeper into this mentality. If you, quote unquote, love yourself where you're at, that means that you're going to say, I'm perfectly fine. I don't need a change. The old Bridget was not physically fit. She was not mentally fit. Important as well, and she was not spiritually mature. Low-key, I still feel like I'm not spiritually mature, but I'm getting there, okay? If you are comfortable, that means you're not going to do anything. So you need to be uncomfortable. You need to get up and start making moves to change. Take accountability and stop blaming people, because that's what I had to do. I had to take a hard look at myself and realize that the self-deprecation came through the inside. I started to crack so many jokes about myself. It was a coping mechanism. I think the hard, uncomfortable truth was I started to just accept the fact that I was going to be mediocre. And I didn't want to do that. I finally sat down and looked at exactly what it was that I did not like about myself. And that's what we need to be doing. We need to have a sense of self-awareness and be accountable. Be clear on why you hate yourself. If you're not honest with yourself, then who is? Once you have it on paper, you have the tools now to realize what habits need to change. Now it's going to be up to you to start making these habits. Proverbs 26:11 states, like a dog that returns to its vomit, so fools repeat their folly. I love this. It really made me realize, you know what? That's so true. Why would I go back to my old habits? Why would I go back to an old life? Spiritually, when you die, come back again as a new creation. You leave your old life behind. So do not go back to that vomit like a dog. Why would you repeat your same mistakes? Insanity is thinking that you're gonna get a different result doing the same thing. Stop being comfortable and start realizing that you do not want to be mediocre. Second point, I need you to start speaking life into your daily life. What do I mean by that? If you're taking notes, write this down. Your words hold a lot of power, a lot more than what you guys think. John 1:1, first was the Word was with him, and God is the Word. Our words are powerful. Words are from God. So why are we using our words to diminish ourselves? Stop doing that. Stop speaking death over your life. Proverbs 18:21, the tongue has the power of life and death. That is going to be a segue into my third point, your inner critic. What are you saying to yourself on a daily basis? And I'm going to put it a step forward. What are you saying about others on a daily basis? Your tongue holds a lot of power, and whatever we speak through it, whether it be a joke or not, it's going to come into fruition. I need you to know, and what I need you to understand is that inner critic did not come from you. That inner critic came from somebody in your family, somebody in your friendship group, somebody in your life. Because we do not grow up thinking that we hate ourselves, okay? You just don't. Realize that your inner critic was from someone that you love very much, and that person just let you down and just repeatedly told you really bad things, bullied you to the point where you started to believe it. Those thoughts are not your own. And I can get into the spiritual aspect of it, but understand this in turn has basically put you in a state to be super critical of yourself, and it manifests into other people as well. We're a product of our environment, and we need to start unlearning. There are going to be actionable steps that you have to take in order to back up what you're saying to yourself, physically manifest it into your daily life. And if you want me to make a video about habits that will make you love yourself, then I can definitely make another video about that. Just give this video a like and comment down below, and I will get to it for sure. Proverbs 24:21. I need you to listen to me. You need to start seeking out wisdom. And this is for believers and non-believers, everybody. This is literally for everybody. Seek out wisdom, but not earthly wisdom, not your understanding, but you need to seek out God's wisdom. Proverbs 24:21. By wisdom a house is built, and through understanding it is established. Through knowledge its rooms are filled with rare and beautiful treasures. What does that mean? That if we seek wisdom, we will find favor with God. We will have his understanding rather than our understanding. In order to even know the true character of God, in order to even know what he stands for, you need to start reading your word. We inevitably become a byproduct of his word. Like I said, you are a set of learned behaviors, so start taking steps towards a life full of wisdom. We start to have more love for each other. We start to have more patience, and overall you start to love yourself. You start to love yourself because the first commandment that God says is love God above all else. After that, when you start implementing these and when you start to learn what he says about you, you start to inevitably just see his reflection through yourself. You start to actually learn about his love, and you inevitably become love, and that's gonna ooze out through you. And you know what, another point that I wanted to make is that happy people ain't hating, and hating people ain't happy. If you're hating on people, you ain't happy. Point blank period. Whenever we start to be kinder to ourselves and we start to look how you used to live your life and how people are continuing to live their life, God is so merciful, and how he's able to work literally on anybody as long as they're willing, they relinquish and repent. Okay, so start to look at the bigger picture and ultimately God's point of view rather than your own. Fifth point is I need you to stop overthinking. Back whenever I was in my self-help book era, I ran across this book. I think it's called Don't Believe Everything You Think by Joseph Wynn. To summarize the book, he basically attributes the root cause of all human suffering to our own thinking. It made me think. It made me really challenge my thinking. He goes on to say that we can change our life experience through a state of no thought. And then he also says, obviously that's impossible, but let's try to get there. And then he gives you like practical tips on how to try to get there, filter out the negativity, if you will. And even though I do disagree with it, the book really did challenge my thinking. Rather than filling our minds with anxious thoughts of the past or of the future, why not go into scripture and read about God? Read about who he is and see how much he loves you. Let me reassure you and remind you that he literally loves you so much, and he is a loving God, and he's eager to show you how valuable and how loved you are. He is willing to provide. He's willing to just be there overall for you. And I know that's really hard to believe because, like I said, I've been in the self-deprecating place. I've been in the place where I'm like, if there is a God, bro, he don't like me. I know. I've been exactly where you've been. But when I actually started to put out a step of faith to like really get to know him and try to better myself physically, mentally, and spiritually, that's when I start to realize that there's a whole nother perspective that I've never even stepped out of, because I was so comfortable in my vomit. I was so comfortable back there. But this is a thing. God is so merciful that he's going to put you through the trials and tribulations so that you can finally get up and start moving and start being uncomfortable. Because, yeah, I wasn't happy where I was at, and praise Jesus that he literally took me out of that. I learned from that lesson and actually got closer to him and got better physically as well. He's always providing and he's always willing to help. Something that recently happened that I want to share with you guys. I was in my intimate place with my father, and I was asking him, please let me know how valuable you think I am, how you view me. I'm having problems. I was just having a bad day, and you know how bad days can lead to like really bad thoughts. But anyways, I was just going to him and saying, you know what? Yeah, like it would really help a lot if you kind of showed me how it is that you see me. And next day I wake up and my mom is making me a green smoothie. She makes it every morning for me. Whenever I'm with her, obviously, like whenever I'm capable of making myself my green smoothies, my mom just loves me a lot. Her love language is literally acts of service. Get to the kitchen, and in the kitchen there is like a window, and it's shaped like an arc. First thing that catches my eye was this red bird, and as I catch it, both my parents kind of like screech in excitement, both in unison, and I'm like, what happened? And they're like, the bird, giron, or something like that. And I was like, what's a giron? And they like explained to me, it's a bird but the only head is red. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And I was like, and actually it caught my eye, like it's beautiful. And then it flew away like a few seconds later. I'm reading my Bible for that day, and if we turn to Matthew 10:29-31, it says, are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny? Yet not one of them will fall to the ground outside your Father's care, and even the very hairs on your head are all numbered. So don't be afraid, you are worth more than many sparrows. I immediately looked up what a sparrow was, and guess what a sparrow is? A sparrow was that bird that I saw earlier with my parents. A sparrow is that giron, garron, whatever it was. I didn't realize at the moment that that was indeed a sparrow, and that was God letting me know, you are much more worth than what you think you are. You're beautiful. You are his creation, and he loves you. I get it. Life is hard, and you're gonna hate the situation that you're in, but if we start to actually seek out his wisdom, seek out his love, and start taking actionable steps, being self-accountable, being self-aware, and knowing that this is not forever. If you want change, there is hope for change as long as you're willing to step out, take a step of faith, and start to actually listen to his word, read his word, and have a relationship with him. Birds get taken care of. Why would you not be taken care of? You're much more valuable than that. You're loved by a beautiful God, a God that created you and innately created love within you. Because he is a loving God, he gives you a free will. He wants me to remind you is that the fact that he gave you that free will is a testament to his love, because he's never going to force anything onto you. And although you hate yourself, you hate your situation, you don't like where you're at, you want to kill yourself, I get it. But he's telling you that you do not have to live this life anymore. You don't have to live in self-deprecation and in self-hatred at all anymore. He literally says it in his word, do not worry, because I am here and you are much more valuable than the birds. And of course I'm going to take care of you. But it takes having actual faith and relinquishing and repenting and knowing that God is real and God is for us. He's with us.
You guys, this was supposed to be my outro, but as you can see, the audio is off. It's okay. I'm giving myself grace. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you like this video, and I'll see you the next time. Love you.